I'm mates with Schultz here, and he told me to say hello.
Good stuff. Well, hello everybody. It's Thursday night, 9 o'clock, time for the Handicap Rugby Chat that matters. Well, I got two guests tonight. One a fairly familiar face, and I always considered him the hairiest guy, or bar a few of the conductors sessions last year. But I've got someone to replace him. Then let me actually start down at the bottom. Many of you will know him from Twitter and on the Good for the Game forum. It's Mondo. Mondo, welcome to the show. We've been talking about it for a while, but great to have you on.
Yeah, shit. I wasn't going to let load shedding stop me, and then there's no load shedding tonight. So I guess even Eskom wanted me to be on the show. And thanks a lot for having me. It's fierce. I've been watching for a good while now. It's lekker. Thank you very much.
Right. Well, great to have you on. Enjoy interacting with you on Twitter. And then up at the top of our screens there, it's at the Crow Tips. Chris, great to have you back on the show, mate. You got some winners for us this weekend?
Yeah, of course, Brent. We're going to have a good one. Always good to be with you. Get some winners out there, talk some rugby. Yeah, looking forward to it. I know I was going to host the show for you tonight, but I see you made a miraculous return to the top spot.
Yeah.
I know it's threatening. I know, but you're still the king.
No, it was
still the king.
It was one of those things. I had a school function on, actually a major production, but it finished it comfortably in time. But I thought I better make a plan in case I'm stuck in the jolly thing and can't get out. But yeah, well, good to have you both on the show. We'll just welcome some of the boys in the live chat there. Chris also coming in, and Fareed, microwave on top of the fridge. Never seen that before. Is that Chris's place there? I see that.
Yeah, there's the painting. I've moved. Yeah.
There must be some sort of a safety hazard. But gents, we'll kick straight in because we've actually got quite a few games to talk about. I know you guys want to talk a little bit of Pro D2, the semi-finals there as well. But let's get into the Super Rugby. We'll start off tomorrow morning. We got Moana Pacifica against Crusaders, and you will get a handicap of -11 and a total points of 62.5. Now, Chris, I'll start with you here. There was plus 26.5 Moana Pacifica early in the week. Already on Twitter, a lot of the sentiment was for them. And, of course, Crusaders named a much-changed side, and that handicap just came tumbling down. First of all, were you on any of the early value there, and what do you make of the current lines?
No, so unfortunately, I haven't been in that cadence of looking at early lines. You know me, Brent. I like to get all information and right up until the game. So, but those are the ones you regret missing, of course. But I mean, if Crusaders put out their best side, it's a 20-point cap. I would have capped it at 20, so you're still looking at good value there, maybe. Anyway, but to be honest, I didn't even look at this game because Crusaders are doing their Crusaders thing, peaking towards the playoffs. But Crusaders, when they change their team, they're not the same level, and especially Moanga, especially Avili. Okay, Jordan's back, but Burke and McLeod are good players in their own rights, but they lose cohesiveness. I haven't done well back in Crusaders away in the last 2 years. Pacifica, not much to talk about them, right? Hammered last week, if you remember, they took Crusaders all the way in the first half last time in Crusaders. So I'm expecting the same intensity from them again. I don't think they're going to get steamrolled tomorrow. I have checked weather, but New Zealand weather report's going to be the death of me. So it'll be raining in the report today. It'll probably be bask and sunlight tomorrow. But if the rain does arrive, that should also probably help Crusaders. They'll probably have a better skill set than Pacifica. So it's the line. I don't have a big strong fancy on this with the weather around. Crusaders away team, the value's gone, but I wouldn't be on Pacifica Plus either, even with this team.
Right, and I must say, Mondo, just looking at the boys in the live chat there, most of them saying that the current line are actually leaning towards the Crusaders. Did you get involved in some of the
current line Crusaders?
Yeah, so I was lucky. I got a little bite of the plus 27.5 early in the week because I just figured there's no way Crusaders are going to go full strength after the Blues, and as much as Aaron Major said they weren't targeting it, I really think Moana were targeting this game and want to make a statement. That being said, at the line of where it's sort of 10.5, 11 now, I become a Crusaders punter. And Ruben Keane on the whistle, I think it's points. There could be points flowing. The weather, it looks like it's a bit drizzly, but yeah, I think, the key is that, the Crusaders have the two dynamos in Jordan and Macca Springer. And I think those two guys are just going to look to Joel tomorrow. And it could be a bit of a throw around, like a ding-dong points battle. Yeah, the Crusaders haven't obviously impressed us in as much as they usually do. But then again, they're still going to end near the top of the table. It's going to end up being a decent season. It's just against their own standards that we're judging them. They impressed me just in their defense against the Blues last week, as bad as the Blues were at times. Yeah, shit. I think the one key for Moana is that there's big talk of Levi and Moore going to the Crusaders next year. So I think for him, there's like a real extra bit of spice to impress and maybe sort of earn that contract. And I think the punt for me, if I'm honest, is maybe Moana points. I mean, it's sitting at 25. It's sitting at 25 and a half, and I can see this just being points. Crusaders may be pulling away in the end, but yeah, I can see points absolutely flying.
Yeah, I agree with you there on the Moana points there. I must have pretty much a line there. Let's move on to the next.
I'm making a mistake here because I'm just calling it out because the last 3 times I backed Crusaders away, it was Fiji. They lost when they played Pacifica last time. I was on the halftime. I think they were losing at halftime. So I'm just so spooked on this changed up awaiting. But you're right, Pacifica don't offer much, to be honest.
Look, I think the Crusaders will win this. There was a ridiculous price of 31-1 for Moana to win at the beginning of the week. It's odds for a reason. I really can't see them winning, but I think they'll be much more competitive than usual, or they have been. I hope.
I agree. I agree with that sentiment. I think Pacifica will be competitive tomorrow. I agree with that sentiment.
The next game, then we'll start with you, Mondo. I think I've seen this handicap's actually plus 10.5. The Reds. Although Chris, you write it a bit differently. You just write it next to the team that's the minor.
Sorry, I just put it in quickly. So I just put in the one. Sorry. So what did I got?
No problem. So that's minus 10. It's plus 10.5. The Reds there against the Blues. Mondo, any thoughts on that?
So I just went down the right with whatever the guys were.
No problem.
Now, look, the Blues are they can be a good side. But as long as they keep picking Harry Plummer at 12, they're not going to do anything. That guy is poison for a backline, and he has been for years. And I don't know why he keeps getting back. I don't get it. I get he's a big, strong guy or whatever, but geez, he kills the momentum in the backline. I just can't see the Blues really performing here. They probably win, I don't know, but I think the Reds really push them close. For me, again, it's Reds points. Reds over 22.5. The way they were so good last week, they really impressed me. Look, I know Brent Graham's on his way out, but I dig him. I love a hard-nosed guy who doesn't take shit. I really like what Brent Graham actually has done there and sort of made them a lot harder. But, yeah, they should win. I got 8.5 at that. Yeah, I might take Blues. If it's anything 10 and up, I think Reds. Yeah, the Blues are missing Papa Ali to suspension, and I think that's a huge loss. But
Rico and Christie.
But I think Rico and Christie, they can. I don't know. I think the leadership of Papa Ali is really what they're going to miss. And if you look at the Chiefs last week, leadership is what cost them huge. Look, the Reds do have some crackers. Jordan Way on the whistle. I think points here as well. I think points could fly. Reds aren't going to stand back. Blues aren't definitely not. Their line is at 33.5. I think that's maybe a touch. I don't know. See, either it's going to be a touch high or it's going to blow it out the water. But I think the Reds are competitive in this game and they keep with it. I think that for me, the Reds over 22.5 is maybe my shout for this one.
Right, Chris, yourself on this game?
Yeah, we've mentioned the players. I think the sun's out as well, so I think it'll be a fair game.
Cracking weather.
Yeah, so points, 56 is too low. It's 3 points too short. 22, Reg will cover 22. So both medium punts on the over, medium to high on the over 56, medium Reds over 22.
Yeah, I like
stick
that.
with you, Chris, for the next game. Highlanders up against the Rebels. Here we got the Rebels plus 9.5 and total points of 62.5.
Yeah, so So initially, this is the initial gut thing that feels too high for Rebels. I think the Rebels are in this game. I think Rebels can win this game. So I think that the cap's too high. But I have one of these sneaky feelings. Every two games a season, the Highlanders arrive, and something tells me the Highlanders are arriving this week. I don't know why. It's just my rugby gets. So I feel the cap's high, but I think I like the Highlanders over 35 points here more than the cap, because the Rebels can meet them at 37, 33, and then the cap's gone. So the cap wins, but I think the Highlanders at home, Rebels defense is shaky. I think over 35 is a good bet. I think Highlanders can go close to 40.
It's funny you say that, because I've also got enough. It's one of those things you can't really justify other than to say it's a bit of a gut feel. But I've also got that same gut feel, Mondo, that the Highlanders are going to come to the party this week and actually play pretty well, because they haven't strung many good performances together this season. But I'm with Chris there. I actually think the over 35.5 points Highlanders could be the play, or perhaps even the minus 9.5.
I very, very much agree with that. I think looking at the teams that have been picked, the Highlanders have finally really busted Mitch Hunt, finally. And Freddie Burns, I wasn't sure how he was going to go. He actually cooked last week. I was very impressed with his management. He's solid. I liked him. Jonah Nareki, excitement machine, exactly like Stephen says, he's back. Something that swayed me a little bit off, I know the group's been quite frothy over the Rebels lately, but something that's really put me off them this week is Reece Hodge at 10. And he is not a 10 at all. Carter Gordon, that kid can bowl. I rate him. But, Reece Hodge at 10, I think he's going to make that back one so stodgy. And all the excitement machines that they do have, Monty Iwani's a bloody excitement bugger. He's not going to get any quality ball except chasing Reece Hodge heights. Paul Williams on the ref, on the whistle, points.
Also, another thing for me, they got this. I think I saw a guy in the center I don't recognize, and that always scares me to death. The defense patterns go off the boil in the second half when there's a new guy in the center. So I think the Highlanders get a lot of space side wide. I think Nareki's going to have a field day against the Rebels. There's going to be a lot of wing tries,
and he's the kind of player you love to watch.
Yeah, I love him. I do enjoy him. Yeah.
Right, we go on to the next game then. Chiefs up against the Hurricanes, and we'll start with you here, Mondo. This handicap is shot out from minus 6.5 Chiefs. You can now get plus 12.5 the Hurricanes, and a total points of 55.5. I kept this game in between. I kept it minus 9.5 Chiefs. I wasn't surprised by the movement, although perhaps a little bit surprised it's gone out as big as 12.5.
Look, the Chiefs have pretty much gone full strength, and I know Henrik likes to talk a bit of shit about Damien McKenzie at 10, but I think with the steadying influence of Leonard Brown next to him, I think he really helps. He's going to help steady the ship and help that slight headless chicken thing that Damien McKenzie can do. Look, once again, I sound like a stuck record, but shit, I can see points coming here too. I mean, I saw the first half line sitting at over 26.5. I've got a funny feeling the Chiefs come out roaring here. Blatt got a big early lead, but this Hurricanes team, they are still Hurricanes. I think they've still got points in them. Their line is sitting at 21.5. Maybe, I don't know. I think if the Chiefs blow this out with like a lot of people are expecting, I think the second half the Canes could run in, a trial to. I know there's the curse of, the big milestone game. Artie Julian does become the most capped Hurricanes. No, something like that, like the most capped Hurricane or top try, whatever. It's a big day for him. I think he's captaining. But I mean, this Chiefs side is quality. It's hard. They're quality, so it's tricky.
Right. So the Chiefs.
Chiefs definitely won. Chiefs definitely won, but I think the Canes put up a little bit of a fight again.
Okay, Chris.
Yeah, so for me, again, I don't know if you checked the weather, Mondo, but I saw it raining all day in Hamilton on Saturday, which gives me two ideas of what this game could play out. Because if it rains, the Chiefs are going to win cover the cap because they're much better weight weather team. They put the Blues away in the weight. They've got the skill set. Yeah, better. Yeah, exactly. So the Chiefs will steamroll them if it's moist. It's wet and moist, which it could be. If it's dry, I think if it's dry, I think the Canes are going to be on the board as well, and I think they could keep the cap within the cap. So for me, weather is very important to how I see this game going. What bet has done really well for me. It went 1-3 on the bounce until last game out, and Chiefs won quite. Yeah, they ran away with it in the end. And Hurricanes was either team between 7 because it was a 1.2 point and a 6-point Chiefs win, so they were close. So that bet was coming in nicely. I was thinking of that one this week, but the Chiefs are different outfit this year. So if it rains, Chiefs to beat the cap. If it doesn't, Canes to keep it close, but the Chiefs win 1-12 as well. It's somewhere as well. Another higher value punt. If it's dry, Chiefs 1-12 or +12, whatever you fancy. If you want a little bit more value on the 1-12.
I mean, the line is sitting currently.
Sorry, Munda, carry on.
So I just want to say that the line in the Chiefs Canes is ridiculously low for Super Rugby. It's 56.5, 55.5. And so I think that they're anticipating rain, like you say, but I don't know. Yeah, shit. Okay.
Yeah, I've seen.
No, go, Chris.
No, so yeah, also the Mackenzie comment. I've been on the other side. I've been pumping Mackenzie's praises because I'll have Mackenzie at over 10 over Bratton any day of the week. If I was the coach, I'm picking the best fly in the team, and that's Mackenzie. Sorry, Gath. He's a much better fly than Gathan. I've got old. What's his guy at the back? He's firing up. I don't need Gathan on the field. I need Mackenzie and that guy. So I think
Gatlin's out for the season, eh?
Oh, is he out? Okay, well, I didn't even know that because he doesn't come into my frame of reference. I was happy with the back. How Chiefs have been going with the back. They were unbeaten. Why nail Mackenzie? They lost their first game of the season.
Agree.
Why be so hard on him? He's doing a good job. So yeah, so I can see what Hendrik's saying. He does stand in the different positions and can put the team under pressure, but he's in the right. Mackenzie in that team is where he needs to be. So my humble rugby opinion.
I don't have a problem with Mackenzie at 10 for the Chiefs, but to me, he's not an international 10. And so for him internationally, I think he's got to play at fullback. That's the way I see it. But he definitely does a job there for the Chiefs. He's got a strong pack in front of him.
I would have no issue with Mackenzie 10 and Jordan 15 if that was the picking with Mohanga and Barrett.
Fireworks. Fireworks.
Yeah, but Mohanga is the 10, right? He's still the 10 for the rest of the year, so I can't see it. Barrett's probably backing him up. But I see what you're saying. He's not going to run in at 10 for the All Blacks, or maybe. But you got to think of the Chiefs, the Macmillan. He's got what he's got in front of him. He's going to play Mackenzie at 10. Like that's just how it's going to go.
100%.
Right, we'll get on to the next game, gents. It's the Waratahs who've been in cracking form of late. They play in the Fijian Drua, who tend to be a bit hit and miss, particularly. Well, they're more miss on the road. Lots of support for them last week against the Force. That was one of those situations where I didn't back myself.
I backed in.
I was the only niner and Force, and anyone told me, but I was happy with that one.
Well, now they Waratahs 11.5 point favourites here, and a total points line of 58.5. Chris?
Yeah, so okay, we all have our styles and our views, right, and our systems, and I admit, Drew have screwed me over at home. Respect to them. Teams go, they completely underestimate them and can't play in those conditions, and Drew are just another level. Yeah, so I think a whole lot of factors they play into Fiji's hands, but on the road they are dog shit. Sorry to say, they don't defend, and Force are quite good at home at the moment. They're scoring tries. Well, going back to last week, that's why I was very comfortable on the Force cleaning up the cap and the points there. Tars at home against
yeah.
Yeah, well, last week, but I'm reading it pretty much. I'm reading it the same into this week. Similar matchup, similar environment. The Tars will cover. The Tars will get. I like Tars a lot. What's the point? I think they're also 30. I think it's also 35.
35.5 for the Tars and 22.5 for the draw.
All day Tars over. Also nice weather. Good luck for Gia. They're going to score 50. Good luck. So Tars over 35. One of my bets of the weekend.
Well, Mondo, bringing you in on this game. Now, I can tell you when I handicapped this game in the Good for the Game forum, and there is a link down below for that, my Sunday night handicap, I went Tars minus 16.5 in this game. Now, it opened, I think, around about 6 or 8, and it's kind of edged out now to 11.5. But I'm still on the 11.5 here. I think the Waratahs are going to win this one comfortably. What's your view on this?
Yeah, whenever I look at the log, I sort of can't understand that the Waratahs are at the bottom. I think they're actually a decent side. They've got some decent players. I think Ben Donaldson's a good little flower. Solid. We're not going to set the world on fire, but he's going to get it back on the way. He's going to do his job. I can't see the Drew really keeping up with this Tars team away from home. I mean, my favorite player at the moment plays for the Drew at Texi Canavera, the little red-headed hooker. And it's always like a thing, a fellow ginger. And I mean, it's very rare, a ginger Fijian. But, I said 35.5. I think you can even get like a 39.5 with 2.3, 2.4. Yeah, I think I'll take it. I think Waratahs
I got Tars scoring 45 points at least. Yeah, they're scoring over 40. I can't see them not breaking 40. I'll be shocked. And if they don't, well then that's about to hold my hand up.
I think that's more the bet than the handicap, because you just never know. The Drew run in 2 quick tries at the end and make it look closer than it was. I think that Tars points over is the way.
I'll tell you now. Drew have done that. So as you said, they've come in 3 games, 3 tries, last 10 minutes to screw me on the cap. So that's why the cap is too low. But I'm not going through for Gia 2 tries in the last 5 to screw me. Tars can seal this in 60 minutes and we can go home and walk the dog.
I fully agree. And Ben O'Keefe, not sure. No whistle.
There's Ben O'Keefe on. Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
This is Farid's coming from the Couch Critic Handbook. He says red-headed hookers all over Cape Town.
Well, with bloody Irish coming next week, and they're complaining about cheap tickets. Can you imagine how they're going to complain about cheap hookers?
Yeah, they're going to be making a big influx into Cape Town. Western Force, Mondo against the Brumbies. This handicap has come in a lot. I also capped this game around this region, actually. So I wasn't too surprised by the movement here. And we've got a total points line of 56.5. Brumbies minus 6.5, Mondo.
So the Brumbies have obviously been the flag bearers for Aussie Rugby for a while. But they've made a lot of changes this week. I quite like Lolicio at 10. He's been benched this week, and it's Jack Debrasini playing. I'm not going to describe Jack Debrasini as a dynamic flower. He's more of a, bread and butter. He's going to kick territory. It's going to be that kind of sort of style of play. As much as this hurts me to say, I might be a force punter. I might be back in the force in this one. The line. I still look. The Brumbies have the magic man in Currie Tool. That kid is quick. So I think the threat from anywhere to kill the cap might be not me, but force over 24.5 looks like that might be where I would go. Brumbies is over 30.5. It's possible, but I don't know about that. I think that's the way to go. I just think Force are coming into a little bit of form. Kibirigi's cooking on the try scoring. Tizano, geez, he tackles for days. Yeah.
Matale is dangerous.
You see, Farid, I agree that Debrasini can control, but, I think that's going to slow the Brumbies down quite a lot. I think it's going to revert when Jake White was coach, where it's kind of sort of slow, rolling ball rugby. Yeah, I think Force points. That's where I'm leaning.
Force over. Force have been good to me this season as well, Chris.
Yeah. So I'm going to do something that I've never done in 3 years and break a record. I am going to back Force back to back. Never been done in my life. Never thought I would ever do it. So no, I'll tell you why. The form lines have proven that they got 30 points in them in this game again. So 24 is too low. It should be 27 for me at least. Brumbies are shipping 30 points at home. They're not the compact Brumbies defense anymore. Force have shown me enough that they'll be both getting close to 30 points in this game, I think.
All right, so a high-scoring game potentially coming up there. Gents, let's move on now. We'll go into the Currie Cup, and Chris, we'll start with you.
My favourite.
And Province here minus 1.5 points.
Province. That's it. Now, look, I'll be honest, Brent. I'm shitting you not. I'll make a pick. I'll doubt myself. I'll go to the other pick. I'll doubt myself again. I'll go back to my original, and then the other one will win. And that will happen 4 out of 6 games on a weekend. I just cannot nail it down. It's just like if I go high, it's low. If I go cap, the guys keep it close. Sharks want to play 1 week, then they're like the best team in the comp the next. Then the Lions don't. Then they play a C team, then they bring. I can't keep up with it. It's too much. I like my Super Rugby. I'm enjoying it in the English Prem. I've been following it though because there is the Currie Cup, but I think currently Province they've had some good performances lately. I'm sorry, Brent. I have no view. Maybe it's overs. What's the points line? Do we have a points line?
I haven't seen. I did have a look before the show. I haven't seen a points line. Mondo, you seen anything there?
So the points lines, it's 58 total.
Yeah, I said 60. Yeah.
Province 28.5, Pumas 27.5. Something to keep in mind is that they're playing in Athlone, eh? So it's been moved from Cape Town Stadium for the pitch. They've not gone to Stellenbosch. They're going to Athlone. If I remember correctly, back in the day, they played some varsity cup matches in Athlone, and the pitch didn't pull up or anything. They play soccer there.
Santos.
Yeah, I think Province. I think you go with Province playing well. It's a choice game. I think Pumas, they should have beaten the Sharks last week. I was disappointed that they didn't. They got unlucky right at the end. They're not the Pumas that they were. I think they're. They're not the same size they were last year. Province youngster Jean-Luc Duplessis at captain at fly off, him and Sasha 10-12. Yeah, I like Province in this one. I mean, it's choice. So, I like Province.
Province has shown enough.
Yeah, I'm going
Province home. Province at home. Yeah, I agree. What I've seen Province at home, when they click in, they're playing good rugby. And Pumas aren't the team like we said they are before. And I think the pitch has an issue. If it was the Cape Town Stadium, I'd probably like it more. But
Yeah, I'm on Western Province. I saw this Province very much with the Currie Cup, full Currie Cup side as they have now. Of course, lose by a point. I think it was to the Pumas away. I just think the Province can put it together at home, and I think maybe moving to the Athlone Stadium, they'll probably get quite a nice crowd there. I think it could work in their favour as well.
If this was a few weeks ago, it was a Pumas -3 cap, but where Province have gone since then, they've edged themselves into favourites.
And bookies actually opened up here Pumas' favourite, but I must say I actually capped this game. I'm actually trying to think if I'll have a look now on the good for the game side, but I capped this game at Western Province. I think even bigger favourites. I think somewhere around 4.5 or so.
Province, they just have the points. I would have been over 58 all day, every day, a few years. But Province sometimes don't have high scoring games at the moment as well. It's just, a lot of the games are consistent.
One thing to keep in mind is Jadley Zwini is on the whistle. It's not a bad ref, but he's not the fittest around. So he's not shy to sort of call playback and things like that. That's my one concern about overs. Otherwise, look, I can see points all day, but just really gives me a little bit of pause.
And Mondo, two things. We got the Sharks, Cheetahs -4.5. Do you have a points line for us? And which game is Amy Barrett-Ron reffing this weekend? Because reffing is definitely an unders.
I literally had it. Amy Barrett-Ron is reffing the Bulls-Lions game, and I literally wrote Chatty Cathy working, and wrote, I would love points, but they won't come. And
yes, exactly.
with Chatty Cathy on the whistle, look, she's a good ref, but she just likes to talk shit with the players the whole time. And it's, guys, I need you to speed up. I need you to speed up. Like, sure.
Yeah, and it never takes action. Never takes action. But anyway, back to Sharks, Cheetahs.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, so it's Sharks are 5.5 point favorites. 57 points is the total line. Sharks 30.5 is their points. Cheetahs 25.5. I think the Sharks are starting to look quite decent. Joey Mongala is a pretty decent coach by the looks of it. Look, the Cheetahs, I don't really rate the team that they've picked so much. I don't like the fluff that they've picked. I like that young guy that the Sharks have bought. I rate him. Marius van Vester is on the whistle. Yeah, I see the guys are saying points unders. Yeah, I would tell.
Only thing is with Marius on the whistle, points unders is always a nervous thing with Marius. But I hear the guys coming in there and saying unders. I also like the unders, particularly down there in Durban. I'm just a bit nervous of Marius.
Yeah, he's going to see an 80-minute sweat.
If you see a Highveld game, Marius on the whistle, then I'm comfortable with overs. But when it's Amy Barrett and different view, right? We were saying just a pity. She talks. She adds 15, 20 seconds to each set piece. You're talking like 5 minutes easily. Yeah.
Like I think she's talking for Tinder dance sometimes. The way she's
game yet, guys.
That's nice.
she means well, but she just needs to.
Chris, your views on this game?
Sorry, Brent. Yeah, I think I've been impressed with what I've seen in the Sharks. Cheetahs are good as well, but I think the Sharkies are doing well. I lean on the Sharks -4, but it's a very low pick lean. That's why it's a lean.
Do you have any view on the Griffins Griquas? Mondo?
There's 2 players for the Griquas that have really caught my eye this season. It's Dobella, that little flower. A guy can ball. He's quick. He's exciting. He's good. And there's that Tabo Indimandi. He's 6. Plays in the Scrum Cup. He was like playing Varsity Cup last year. That guy's also wild. I like the team the Griquas have picked. Griffins, I was irritated as hell with Province last week when they were 25 zip up and nearly bottled it. I think they should have stepped on the throat and gone for it. I think the Griquas maybe put to the sword this week. The points is over 37.5 for the Griquas. 11-point line. I think Griquas over 37. I reckon they kill it. They go for the throat because they've been having a bit of a tough time. They take their opportunity and go for it.
I'm with you there. Also, the Griquas on the minus and the overs.
Yeah,
but I think of the beginning. Besides Griffins beating the Bulls, they were taking their kicks after 40 minutes and 40 points down, and they weren't scoring points. But now they're scoring tries. They're scoring points. The Griffins.
They got some confidence.
Yeah, so that's why I'm not. These type of games are tricky for me because again, like Griquas can go up 25 points, and before you know it, they've won the game by 8. That the game's over because Griffins have done a drawer. They like doing a drawer in the Currie Cup, these guys at the moment.
Well, they scored by 23 whatever unanswered points against Province last week in 10 minutes or so. So they can do it. They can score.
The week before, they were miles behind, and then they brought in the cap. People got busted from the cap because of that.
Well, anyway, I kept this game with minus 18.5 Griquas. I'm going to stick to my guns there and back the Griquas on the minus.
Yeah.
Mondo, that takes us on to the last game. The Golden Lions, of course, delivering the newsletter best bet last week at odds of around 14 to 10. If you aren't subscribed to our newsletter yet, pop down below and you can subscribe there and see what we fancy tomorrow. We've got the Lions against the Bulls. I don't know, Mondo, if you have a points line for us there.
So the points line is 58.5. Lions at 27.5, Bulls at 30.5. Look, with Amy on the whistle, you just don't know. It's a 3-point game at this stage. When I made my notes this afternoon, shit! My whole problem is the ref. That's what's putting me off because the bet that's looking me right in the eyes is clearly Jake White wants to win something this year. So he is going to throw everything he can at the Bulls doing something in the Currie Cup. Same with the Lions, to be fair. So points should come. Like it should be a high-scoring cracker of a match. But yeah, I'm just uncertain with Amy on the whistle. Yeah.
I don't think I've ever bet a Lions Bulls unders in my life. I just can't do it on the high fault when those two. I don't know. I'm being honest. Even with Amy there, I don't think I've ever gone out and gone unders on those games. It's just, but with Amy, you're right. And just because my Currie Cup form, it's just like red signs for me. But I know some guys. I know Conductor's been doing well in Currie Cup and stuff. Just be following blindly, but like I 2 Currie Cups ago, overs were hitting 80% of the time, and it was lovely, but it's not happening anymore.
Put it this way: if Marius van Westhuizen was reffing this game, I would have done an oracle and said, "Grandma's pension, mother's pension, go rob a bank, put your whole life on that overs." I'm just not. I think so, but I'm not confident.
I actually like the Lions here, guys. I kept this game Lions -4.5, so quite a big difference here. I was impressed with the Lions last week. And yes, I think the Bulls are going to throw everything at it, like you say, Mondo, and the Lions. But I actually think the Lions might be in a slightly better place at the moment. I still think Bulls rugby is struggling a bit. Not a confident call like it was last week. This won't be the best bet this week, but I'm liking the Lions there. But certainly, if it wasn't Amy reffing, I'd be all over the overs. But I'm going to probably tread a little bit cautiously in that regard there. Gents, that brings us to the end of the Currie Cup. We'll obviously wrap up the best bets. But before we do that, we've got some European rugby to talk about. Let's start with tomorrow night. And we've got the Challenge Cup final. This takes place in Dublin. And we've got Glasgow +5.5 against Toulon. And the total points line here is 48.5. And Mondo, I'll give you first crack.
Okay, so firstly, it is a final, but Wayne Barnes and the ref, so you think it's going to be positive. He's going to ref in a positive way, I think. Glasgow and Toulon have both cooked their way through the tournament. Glasgow averaging 5 tries a game, Toulon averaging 4. They've both gone pretty much full strength. The one thing that makes me have pause for Glasgow, I think Glasgow should win it. I think them on the plus is the way to go, but the loose trio that they've picked is kind of old-fashioned. It's 3 big ball-carrying 8th men. And I think in a final, you need someone who's going to steal ball against someone like Toulon who's just going to hog the ball the whole game. And they've got Olivon, who's not shy to steal as well, and Cornel Dupree. So I think Toulon will make it really, really tough on them at the breakdown. So I could see bigger kicking, 4, 5, 6 penalties here. The points. Glasgow's at 20.5, Toulon at 26.5. The weather in Dublin doesn't look bad. Maybe a slight bit of cloud, maybe it's up in a drizzle, but it is what it is. I think the Glasgow point might be kind of appealing to me at 20.5. I think that's a bit low for them. It's a final, but I think Glasgow +5.5 is probably the right call, with a little bit going on over 20.5. I think Hui Pelutu, I don't really rate the Toulon centres that much. They've got cracking wings. 9-10 is good. I don't think the centres are that great. And obviously Glasgow's biggest strength is their 2 centres. Diogo Miotti, Glasgow on the plus. Surely that's got to be the way.
Yeah, it's interesting. I see in the live chat, and most of the guys on Twitter that I've seen like Glasgow. Actually, I'm with Fareed on this one. I like Toulon. I fancy them to get on top of Glasgow up front and to gradually put them away over the 80 minutes. Chris, what do you think?
Grind them down.
Yeah, so you guys have covered all the points that I'm probably going to rattle off as well. I was Toulon in the beginning of the week, but I've thoroughly enjoyed Glasgow over the years. They lost to Munster, but this is probably their best side. And when their best side's out, they run in with everyone, beating people.
Yeah.
I think maybe that loss woke them up, gave them a week off. I think both teams are going to be super motivated. But you're right. For me, they are actually equally matched teams with different styles. So I think it's going to be a humdinger. So I changed in from Toulon minus into I became a plus. I became a Glasgow punter as well. But I think Toulon play the final style rugby, and that's what will get them over the line. So if they win by 4, they win by 7. That's the call. They're going to win between 4 and 7. Glasgow can win it, but I just think that physicality if Toulon are a weird team. When they play well, they're really good. They beat anyone.
Yeah.
And I think they would overpower Glasgow in a final. But I think Barnsley suits Glasgow if it opens up a bit. That's why. So I actually think it's an evenly matched team. But evenly matched match. I'm like first Challenge Cup final. Actually, I am to watch. I haven't watched one in a while. I'm definitely tuning into this one because I like both teams. So I'm gonna call Toulon between 4 and 7. So the cap, I capped it at 6. So I'm just having an eye on what side of it it's gonna go. So it's gonna be a beaut.
Well, at these lines, I would assume like either team by 1 to 7 is probably even money, something like that. That might be a decent.
Yeah, it'll be around there. Yeah,
that might not be a bad shot. If you think it's going to be such an arm wrestle of a match. Yeah, I think put it this way: it's good to see French taking this seriously. Usually they take anything that's on Heineken Cup and Pro 14 they don't care about, and they're taking this seriously, and they've really sent out a strong team, which is it bodes well.
Yeah, I also would have been. I don't know what the weather is, but I would have been on unders for this match. But something tells me that there's going to be some tries in this game anyway. I think there will be points. They're going to go either side of the field. They're going to have a little go at each other. Penalties are going to flow. Some tries are going to come and roll in. So that's
on the whistle. You always got to worry about points. He's a bit like a.
Yeah, he lets it go and doesn't have a chat.
Yeah,
and
he's going to let that advantage run.
Yeah, he doesn't grab the thicker ones and he lets the advantage go. He stops them. He lets advantage. He calls advantage over a lot more than other refs doing. So
but he also uses common sense in terms of cards, which I like about him. So he's not going to pull some ridiculously rash yellow or red and ruin the game. If something's blatant, it's blatant. But he's going to try and de-escalate rather than push the boat out and ruin it. So I think we're in for a cracker either way.
Well, that takes us on to the big final of the weekend that takes place on Saturday in Dublin. And Chris, I'm going to start with you on this one. We got Mark Dunphy, who thanks very much sent me this jersey. This is the Heineken Cup Leinster jersey. We've got Leinster minus 7.5 here, Chris. And La Rochelle, of course, these sides have met twice. And La Rochelle have won on both occasions. In semi-finals, I think it was in 2020, 21. And then, of course, last year in the final where it was played in Marseille, if I'm not mistaken, and they edged it. So this is really a game that Leinster, I suppose they've known about the final being in Dublin all season, and this was always going to be their focus. And they lost. I mean, they took a gamble last week against Munster. They fielded a bit of a weakened side, and it's a gamble that didn't pay off. They are out. But if they can win this game, they'll say that it was worth it. But if they lose this game, there's tremendous pressure on Leinster going into this. And for me, this is La Rochelle they've got a monster pack, and that's always where you have to test the Irish teams. And I do feel that Leinster are improved from last year. But Chris, I'm interested to see your views on this one. I haven't been able to find a points line yet, guys, but I would guess it at about 45.5.
Okay. So La Rochelle, the best team in Europe, coming into town than they have been the last 3 years, because I don't know where Leinster's trophy is. They haven't won it, so this is their third final, right? But I'll tell you what, I'm calling Leinster. I think Leinster are going to win, and these are the reasons why. It is they're going to have a bee in the bonnet. I know the motivation is going to be totally there they have to win this game by throwing away the URC, by not winning it last. They have to win this game, Leinster, if they want to put any legacy or pride. It's
a failure of the season.
Yeah. So, and I think you're right. Leinster are improved. I think another season with the big South African sides have put that physicality level up where they were lacking last year, where La Rochelle took them. So I agree with you there, Brent. That will be there to help them out. And obviously at home. So the motivation, the home, I think physicality, and I think you guys watching rugby, to go to 3 finals and produce 3 finals is also very difficult. They're capable, but that's a hard keep coming back and winning is hard to do. So I just think, for me, Leinster win. The caps again, perfect 6-7 was where I was at. But I'm comfortable. It's going to be a good game. Can't wait for it as well. The last year's game was great, but Leinster going to do the business. I just think they're going to lead. It's just this is their final to win.
Well, we've got two guys in the live chat who are actually going to be at the game. Chris is going to be there, and Mark is going to be there. And I know he's not on the show because he normally plays tennis on a Thursday night, but I'm sure Dave Cooney will be at the game as well. So, and it's quite interesting that, we've got at least three guys who are going to be actually at the ground. Mondo, what are your thoughts on this one?
Well, I think it was Farid there who made an interesting comment that Leinster is Ireland, La Rochelle is not France. And I think he intended it as a bit of a dig. I think that is a plus in La Rochelle's corner. Look, it's their fourth final in 5 years. They clearly deserve to be there. They know how to win a final. And when you've got a pack of absolute monsters and Levani Botia, who's a freak of nature, look, I think they're going to roll into Dublin and they're going to give Leinster a bit of a surprise. I think the Dublin factor is what makes me think Leinster might pip it. Look, they're a good side. I'm going to say something super controversial, but I do think Leinster are a bit overrated. They are a very, very good side. They are brilliant. But like when I think of a club team that would crush anyone, I think of like the Crusaders from 5, 6, 7 years ago. I just don't see Leinster doing it. Like I think they get away with a lot. I don't know. Maybe I'm stupid. I've got blinkers on, but I don't know. There's something about them that just I don't know.
I said a few weeks ago, I do believe this. If Leinster, if La Rochelle bring what they're good at, they will beat Leinster. But I just have a feeling that Leinster are going to be up for it. And like there's 3 finals, they've won it. Sometimes it just doesn't go your way, and I think Leinster are going to get a few of the hometown calls, and that will be they'll basically be the decider. And But La Rochelle,
Chris not agreeing on Leinster being overrated. We've been down the show road a few times with the guys, but I know Henrik is often.
They're overrated and they win by 20.
So I'll give you my view on
I wouldn't be surprised if they do come to the. I wouldn't be surprised because they actually have to. Yes, they clean up in URC, but they need to show. Even for the players, the players need to. If they want to be part of this legacy and probably the best club side, they've got to stop. Like the guy said, he wants to star on the jerseys of the URC. Then go get it now, bro. Go get it now. Come on.
That's exactly it. I think in terms of like these guys needed to cement their legacy, and I think that's the difference in this. Is I think in terms of the teams, much of a muchness, seasons, much of a muchness. I think it comes down to La Rochelle have done it. Leinster really, really need it. This is going to salvage their season. I think that if they lose this, then the doubts creep in big time for Ireland in the World Cup. I think
we're also missing the Sexton factor. I think if Sexton was definitely on the park, this is the game set up for him. I'm not saying they wouldn't know. They're not going to. It might not be to the detriment, but I would be far more confident if Sexton was on the park for this game.
Agreed. I see that they said that La Rochelle doesn't have a class 10. The 10 is the top point scorer in the Heineken Cup so far that they've got. I can't think of his name now. He can score points. Dante is wild. I mean, that's it.
Doran O'Gara, he's good. He's doing a lot of good behind his coach. He knows that they should have beaten Toulouse 2-3 years ago. They came out the first half ice cold. They put what's his face. He was playing Bartica with his. He shouldn't have been playing. He dropped 3 balls 5 meters out. They could have been. They could have won 3 in a row easily.
Well, I'll bring this one to an end, but guys, by saying for me, Leinster confident call here on the -7.5. I tell you, last year I was on La Rochelle like Farid. I just feel that Leinster have taken it to a new level in terms of I don't think La Rochelle are going to be able to bully Leinster up front. And I actually think Leinster are going to get on top of this game. I'm expecting them to get on top early and to stay on top because once they are out in front, they're a difficult team. Look, it's going to be a cracking final. I mean, if there's one game you don't want to miss this weekend, it's definitely this one. But I'm going to stick my neck out and say Leinster on the minus here.
And then you need to get a new jersey and you need another star.
Listen, I know one thing. Mark Dumphy has learned his lesson about sending jerseys to South Africa. He won't be making those mistakes.
He'll send you a box of gold stars.
Guys, La Rochelle, should have never won the quarter against Gloucester. I watched that second half. They
Dirty.
were so lucky to get over that line. But I mean, I think but Gloucester showed a way how to beat La Rochelle there, because then they just steamrolled Exeter back to La Rochelle way.
Chris,
I think let's
I'm
more
going to
ready.
step back before we do the best bets and let you guys chat about these games. It's is this French D2? I'll let you take us through it, because I've got no contribution here at all.
Yeah, so actually, there's a few little form lines in Pro D that play out pretty often, and I never used to bet on it, but it's been going well. But it's typical French as well, the home team. But the Pro D is far more competitive sometimes, but you get solid form lines, home teams. You take a plus handicap on the higher team against the lower team away, covers generally. One stage, no half was going after 15 points first half, so it was capped at 29. The bookies have caught up on that. Anyway, besides that, what I've also noticed in 3 seasons in the Pro D, it's quite competitive. The form lines are good, but the top team, they go through the semi, they go to the final, they do well. And Vaughan's probably shouldn't have beaten Nevers last week, so I don't think they should be in this game.
Nevers lucky.
Threw it away. Yeah, and O&A at home, they score over 30 points. They're points machines. They're top of the log. So I think Vaughan's played their game. I don't think they should be in this game. I think O&A win by 15 or more, so I like -11, yeah. That's a good, strong punt, medium, strong punt there. And also the Grenoble, the other semi, -4 is too low. They've got the monkey on the board. They put start away every game. They beat them more than 10 most of the time at home. I think that the cream rises to the top in these games. Yeah, and then they go to the final to pay the top. So I think the two French teams take care of business and these caps. So if anyone's interested in playing the Pro D on Saturday.
No, there's a bang on. I've got one little cheeky for in a couple of hours' time, if anyone's feeling really degenerate, is DC, Old Glory DC are playing Toronto at 1 our time. And DC have beaten the overs in every single game, the last 6 games. The line isn't very high. I would potentially tease it down, maybe into multi if you're confident with something in the Moana game or something. But yeah, that should see plenty of points. Toronto Arrows versus DC Glory, all DC. That should see plenty.
Overs total?
Yeah, overs total. It's sitting at 59.5 or something like that.
Sorry, Brent?
I said Grenoble, just quickly to cover the other match you wanted to cover.
Yeah, because that's what I meant as well. Grenoble to take care of. I think that's even better because the lower cap. I think Grenoble win by 10 at least. So I like that cap as well.
That's a good bet.
Yeah, Grenoble, the stronger one over O&A, but Vaughan's. I think O&A will win by 20, to be honest. But let's see how we go.
Well, all I can say is if you're betting on Old Glory tonight, you are indeed a degenerate gambler.
Are we not finished yet? Are we not finished yet? Are we, Mondo? We got
there's proper degenerate stuff coming out.
I'll tell you what, let's do the rugby best bets now, because I think you guys want to talk a bit of NBA or something after this. Am I right?
I've got one best bet for the NBA is back the Lakers to win. It's up 2.5 to 1. They're back in LA today. Back them to get the business done.
Okay.
And LeBron will fire. If you can get 26 points, he's probably going to get Brown there.
Lakers. LeBron triple double at 10 to 1.
Lakers on the plus if you want to really take it home. I think they'll be +4, +3. I think that should be strong if anyone. Is it 6 then? Lakers +6.
I saw 6. Yeah.
That's it. That's the bet. All right.
From you, Chris.
That's DJs. Best bets. Yeah. So I love the Force team points. I love the Waratahs team points, and I love ONA -4. Those are my 3 best bets.
Okay, and yourself, Mondo?
The Tars points definitely were up there. And for me, I thought the Tars over 34. It's as I hate to say this, but that's free money, or it should be. Yes, I've just jinxed us. Sorry. I think for me, a cheeky
but sorry, quickly, Mondo, quickly. I actually totally forgot. What's the centre? Parise, the Warriors, when they threw the centres together.
Is he Parise? He's
the one's out, and I do worry because I've watched a lot of Tars games. I don't like it when they don't. So I need to put the caveat there. But I like more that Drew can't tackle more than that guy's not there. So I'm still going to punt it. But what I'm nervous is it's going to be we might get to about the 76th minute before Tars score try to get it home. But I'm hoping that won't be the case.
So I did have that in my notes. It's Joe Walton. It's Joe Walton. Joe Walton. He's making his debut at number 12. And
but that's what I'm worried about.
13. Yeah, I saw that. I thought the same thing. But I thought he's a youngster, played under 20s. He should be able to ball enough against the duo who I don't think they're going to be up for it. All they want to do is save up all their energy for the big home game against Moana Pacifica in 2 weeks' time.
I just hate debut centers in big pro games. I just don't like they mess up the structures. I've seen it before. It becomes harder to score sometimes. I just hope they got enough. I think they got enough quality, good weather, good conditions. There'll be space. So I think if he can just catch and pass, we're good. So we're good. We should be good.
I think for me,
that sense of combination's lethal.
Gives you a little bit of pause. I think for me, my best punt. It's a multi. It's a double. It's Glasgow plus 13, La Rochelle plus 13, and that brings you out at basically evens. Because even if both of them lose, I think both of them. Yeah, I think both of them win. Literally, I've gone anti you here, Brent. But yeah, I think Glasgow and Rochelle do win. But I think Glasgow plus 13, La Rochelle plus 13 at evens. I think that's a good time for the weekend.
I agree.
I think that's.
You're on my side of I told you, I did a double. I stamped that absolutely. I think in the other podcast I did, Glasgow plus 15 as La Rochelle. So same. I have those legs as well in my multi. So put those together.
I can't see it being a blowout. I can't. It's finals. Yeah, I think that's a chiliki, as I like to say.
Excellent. Well, I can hear you one of those guys who bet on absolutely everything, Mondo.
Oh, I love it. You got to add a little bit of spice. You got to add some spice.
You're going to be at Newlands on Saturday, eh?
Yeah,
the Cape Town Stadium.
I'm very, very lucky. My dad's got a box at the stadium, and so I haven't missed the games here. Newlands was like a huge part of my childhood, my life growing up. But just Cape Town Stadium is so nice, and finals rugby there, a cup pitch, a great experience and a great vibe. And I think it's going to be absolutely rocking next weekend for a province Stormers win. It's going to be rocking. 57,000 in 3 hours.
Yeah, there was nothing better than a full Newlands and Province or rocking and Stormers. Same at this stadium
every week. Yes, it was the hottest ticket in town. Was the ticket to the Stormers on a Saturday afternoon.
The best union in the world. What can go wrong? The best city.
Exactly.
Mondo, you better not say where your dad's box is, because I can tell you the good for the Game Boys like Henrik will probably
come knocking. You gotta get a moat, Doug.
I mean, I'm sure Oracle will want a ticket to your dad's box as well.
Well, look, I'll tell you, if I can have a good weekend or two, I can maybe wangle some.
And Henrik just getting a quick one in ahead of next week, Munster to win. I'm actually quite aligned with you there, Henrik, but we'll talk about
it. Oh, no way. The only red jersey allowed is the red Stormers jersey. I tweeted it to Henrik this afternoon. That's the only red jersey allowed, is the Stormers away shirt.
I don't want to jinx them, but they're not winning. Munster are not winning.
And Henrik saying he'll also be there. Cape Town Stadium sold out in 3 hours. They're very impressive. So we're going to have 55,000 people there to watch that. That brings us to the end of the show. And great to have you guys on. First of all, Mondo, to yourself, excellent debut. Good to put a face to
Thank you very much.
Put it that way. Good having you on. And
I appreciate it.
Hopefully it's a good weekend of punting, although it sounds like it'll only be a good weekend for one of us, potentially, with some of our differences of opinion.
That's part of the spice, man. That's always the best. I think whenever I watch the show and I'm like, when all three of the guests are just nodding along and I'm nodding along, and I think, we can't all be right. I smell a rat. And so, yeah, lekker.
Oracle won't get a word in.
He'll come up to the box and says, well, you two guys, Oracle won't get a word in.
I was saying that Monday. I said, this is going to happen.
Thanks, guys. And thanks to all the guys in the live chat. Excellent show. As
usual. Cheers, guys. Thank you.
For the URC final on the Handicap Rugby Chat That Matters. Cheers, everyone.
Good, boys. Thank you.